the first blast happened, the first attack happened at the Stade de France, and then it was those café terraces, the east of Paris, the fashionable area between Place de la République, where Antonia is, and Place de la Bastille, where you were.
Yeah, absolutely. And I arrived maybe 15 minutes after the attacks happened because I had a birthday party at Rue Bichat next to the Carillon. And I've got for you some of the pictures of that night because it's also reflecting upon those days 10 years later. One picture notably inside the kitchen where we were barricading ourselves, if you will, with Ludovic de Foucault, a colleague. He took this picture, and it just shows you we were a bit crammed there. There was about 20 people at Le Dauphin, a restaurant very close to the place.
How long were you in the
attacks.
kitchen?
To be very honest, I can't remember. It was between half an hour and an hour. Time changes. Your perception of time then changes when there's fear, all of that going on. When they opened the doors, when the restaurant owner opened the doors, because he'd asked us to go and hide in the kitchen because police had called him and told him to do so. Then we all left. And then we've got another picture for you. This is the following day, the Carillon, so a few hours after the attack.
One of the bars targeted, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I had to cover the news. I went to the Élysée Palace for the meetings to talk about what was going on. But before that, I went to the Carillon near my house. And you see very few flowers because it was really the first hours the next day. A few candles, flowers. We can maybe see another few pictures, even more revealing of the situation that morning. Notably, you can see those traces, presumably for bullets, and that sand. I didn't really understand that time what was going on, but that sand, I was told later, was to cover the blood stains still on the floor. And I realized that a bit later. And the atmosphere outside Le Cambodge and Le Petit Cambodge and Le Carillon was extremely difficult, silence, and you can see that picture also. A few people, mostly journalists and locals from the area, turning up to.
And this is your neighborhood.
This is my neighborhood. I was born and brought up just around the corner.
How that 10 years on, is it the neighborhood you've always known?
Interesting you asked that question. I have to say I didn't expect Le Carillon to be as popular as it is today. Le Carillon, that bar, Le Petit Cambodge, that restaurant, still open, still buzzing. Le Carillon, even more popular, I have to say, than before, because before it was just a very basic local bar where we used to go with a cat wandering around. Not anymore. Now it's bigger, it's cleaner, it's busier, more tourists, has to be said, but it's still Le Carillon. And I remember also, I can't remember if it was a week or 2 weeks later, but I remember being at the reopening of Le Carillon after the attacks. And that was a very unusual atmosphere also. One of sorrow, grief, pain, but also of celebration because Le Carillon wanted to reopen quickly and the locals in the neighborhood went there. I was there, several other people, I think some people from France 24 also, because there was a France 24 hangout also, notably for the web desk. I won't name any people from the web desk, but
journalists who drink beer.
It happens. It happened in the old days. It still happens today.
Right.
But it was, but yeah, the neighborhood has changed, but it still attracts a lot of people, and people in the neighborhood and locals will never forget, obviously.